What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are finally in the new 2021 Ford Bronco, courtesy of Bob Ruth Ford in Dillsburg, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so I've been wanting to check this one out for quite a while. It is available, so I do have a feeling I'm going to quite enjoy this one. Of course, the Bronco is now officially brought back from the dead, and this thing will be directly competing with, of course, the Jeep Wrangler. And so in this video, I will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all of that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there will be two different configurations specifically for the 2021 Bronco Wildtrak. First, the two-door, of course, that one is going to start at $46,980. Then there is the four-door version that we have today, starting at $49,475. But regardless of which configuration that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering this beast is a 2.7-liter turbocharged V6, putting out 310 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque sent to all four wheels through Ford's four-wheel drive system. That power being sent to the ground through a 10-speed automatic, but 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 5.9 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 18 in the city, 20 then on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. But so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test or anything like that, I did want to mention the drive modes, of course. Those drive modes will include, there's a ton of them by the way, Eco, Sport, Normal, Mud and Rut, Slippery, Sand and Snow, Rock Crawl, and Baja. So quite a few of them, and that circular dial is located just behind the shifter. And by the way, they aren't called drive modes, they are called GOAT modes, which stands for go over any terrain. So that's what you're looking at. That's what that actually stands for, in case anybody was curious. But they do adjust a ton of different things, including shift points, throttle response, steering sensitivity, the four-wheel drive system engagement, the differential lock system engagement, and the suspension settings overall then as well. And that rock crawl mode actually activates a front trail camera, which I thought was pretty dang cool. So quite a bit you can adjust, of course, with all of those GOAT modes there. All right, you guys, so now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and put it in that sport driving mode here, and let's put this thing to the test, and let's see how quickly this new 2021 Ford Bronco here can get us up to speed. All right, good a spot as any in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Huh. Didn't expect that. Quite honestly, a lot more power than I expected, because this vehicle is a beast. And I will say, in that sport driving mode, I think that definitely plays a huge role in that acceleration, because I can tell you, the second I put it in that sport driving mode, the throttle sensitivity got very, very touchy. So you just barely hit the gas and it sends it. It was to be in the drag strip and go against my own Mustang, but dang, that was an impressive acceleration for the size of the Bronco, without a doubt. But to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so let me first start by saying, when it comes to that 60 to 0 stopping distance, that is going to come in at 136 feet, according to Motor Trend at least, which isn't really the best, and I gotta be honest, and that was maybe my main drawback when it comes to the Bronco, is the braking and the braking feel. It is a very soft braking feel. It definitely didn't bite hard or anything like that, so it did feel like it took quite a bit longer to actually come to a full stop than I'm typically used to experiencing in all of my test drives so far. So I think the worst braking feel I've ever come across so far to date is the Volkswagen Atlas, which actually comes in at 139 feet. So it's not quite as bad as that, but it is a weightier SUV, of course, so you would expect it to not come to the quickest stop, and that is definitely the case with this one. But anyways, then touching on suspension and handling, it actually gets a heck of a lot better here. Haas suspension system, Bilstein shocks with external reservoirs, and the external portion of that helping to add extra fluid volume to the dampers. Overall ground clearance is going to come in at 8.3 inches for the base configuration here, but if you were to go with that Sasquatch package that we do indeed have here today, that bumps it up to 11.5 inches with those large 35-inch tires, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But that is a ridiculous amount of ground clearance, by the way. So this thing is 100% capable, 100% set up to do a ton of off-roading in this beast, as I did a little bit here while searching for Sasquatch in the woods here of Pennsylvania. So as far as ride quality goes, it's pretty much as expected. It actually doesn't ride as bad as I thought it would, so we'll say typically with this kind of a setup, you do tend to feel a good bit of the road, but just cruising on the road right now, it's really not all that bad. I personally would be perfectly fine with the ride quality on this particular Bronco that we have here today. But then, touching on steering sensitivity, that again is perfectly fine. I will say it tends to lean on the heavier side of things, which I personally appreciate. Not as heavy as my old Mustang, but still definitely on the heavier side of things, which I like. And again, that is adjustable dependent upon the drive mode that you end up putting this one in. As far as cabin noise goes, that's on a different level. I will say there is a good bit of cabin noise in the Bronco here, as expected for this kind of a setup. And really, if you're getting the Bronco anyways, it doesn't really matter about cabin noise, because you may actually be taking the roof off this one anyway, so who really cares about cabin noise? So this isn't a luxury vehicle, this is an off-road vehicle after all. But then touching on visibility, it's okay. It's kind of like the Jeep Wrangler. Essentially, you got that spare tire in the back that hinders visibility slightly, but really it's not all that bad. Second row headrests are kind of beefy. I will say that they take up a good bit of rear visibility, but again, it's something that you get used to. If you ask a Nissan 370Z owner or a Chevy Camaro owner how their visibility is, they're going to tell you it's perfectly fine, although it sucks. It's just something you get used to. But anyways, that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2021 Ford Bronco. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2021 Ford Bronco, finished in Cyber Orange, in case anybody was curious of that exterior color name we had there. Let's go ahead and start up front here. Hood loops to connect the LED lighting that is going to be found on the roof of this one if you ended up getting that aftermarket. None of that actually comes standard with it, but that's what those hood loops are for, to actually connect things like aftermarket parts. Like I specifically would probably put LED lighting on the roof of this one. That would be pretty darn cool. White Bronco lettering found on the front grille, of course. LED headlights to the sides. And by the way, LED headlights come standard. That's pretty nice. Automatic feature coming with that, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, those headlights are going to turn on automatically for you there. LED signature lighting, LED daytime running lights, and LED fog lights also coming standard, so LEDs across the board basically. Also, just below that, you are going to find dual front tow hooks, which is pretty cool. I like seeing them. And of course, a very large matte black skid plate with 11.5 inches of ground clearance, like I just previously mentioned to you guys. So very nice, very aggressive looking front end. Let me tell you guys, seeing this car on camera is one thing, but seeing it in person, this thing is an absolute beast. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the side of the Bronco here. Hard top is going to come standard, but you can get a canvas soft top. That option is going to add an additional $2,000 to the price there. Rear privacy glass does come standard. When it comes to those side mirrors, they are gloss black power adjustable side mirrors, and they will be heated then as well. Powder coated side steps, we do have that option that goes for $395, so I wanted to mention it. Those are pretty cool. And with the height of this thing, with that Sasquatch package, it definitely did help you with getting into the Bronco here. And because of that Sasquatch package, we actually also have high clearance fender flares, which you guys can probably obviously tell there. Wildtrak Sasquatch badging found on the front fender. I found that was pretty darn cool as well. There's actually a little Sasquatch within that front fender badging, so pretty nice there. Wildtrak decals on the lower portion of the doors as well. And then taking a look at the wheel configuration, 17-inch gloss black painted aluminum alloys with, of course, 35-inch mud terrain tires with the Bronco logo as the center cap. So quite a nice off-road wheel tire configuration to the Bronco. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the back of this one. That's the first thing I want to mention since we're back here. Bronco logo found to the right of the spare tire. I thought that was a nice added touch. High mount stop lamps found just above the spare tire, of course. Full size spare tire, in case you didn't notice already. LED taillights do come standard, tying together with the LED headlights up front. Just below it all, you will find a tow hitch. And by the way, towing capacity for the Bronco, regardless of if you go with the 2-door or the 4-door configuration, is going to come in at 3,500 pounds, in case anybody was planning on doing anything there. And just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around back, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, there is actually a handle on the left side of the spare tire. Simply just pull back on that and it's going to open up for you essentially. When it comes to cargo capacity, that is going to come in at 38.3 cubic feet for the 4-door. Then if that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split here for the 4-door, which means the rear seats do fold down, bumping that up to 83 cubic feet even if you were to go with the soft top, which means actually for the hard top, it's slightly less, coming in at 77.6 cubic feet. And then if you were to go with the 2-door, that is going to come in at 52.3 cubic feet then. But definitely a ton of space here since we do have the soft top. I will say that 83 cubic feet is plenty respectable, definitely. But 12-volt power outlet you can find in that cargo area. There is a little bit of storage found on the right side there. You do have 4 very heavy-duty cargo tie-down anchors, probably the largest and thickest tie-down anchors I probably have ever seen. LED cargo lighting can be found back there, and there's a cool little blue Bronco within that LED cargo lighting. I thought that was pretty cool. And actually, to my surprise, there was some in-floor storage found beneath the cargo floor as well, including all of the tools that you would need to actually go about changing a tire if you needed to. But I like the in-floor storage. I didn't expect that. So also, once you actually open up the tailgate, there is an accessory rack on the back side of that tailgate, so you can actually hang things up there. Not that I had anything in this video to actually hang, but I did want to mention what that was actually for. But then, making our way now to the rear legroom. For the 2-door version, that's going to come in at 35.7 inches. For the 4-door, then 36.3 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the rear seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. USB charging port back there. 115-volt power outlet back there as well. I thought that was pretty cool. And then just above all of that, you will actually find the buttons to control the side windows. Of course, with the doors and the roof and all that being able to be completely taken off the Bronco, the buttons do need to not actually be on the doors, and so they are not. They're found just in front of the rear passengers there. But so now making our way to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating actually comes standard on this one. Heated front seats also coming standard though. That's pretty nice. Bronco logo can be found on the upper portion of that seating, and then there actually is a leather seating package that goes for $2,195, and that also gives you power adjustable front seats then as well. And I do like the two-tone leather that we had here in this one, so that was a pretty cool package. But overall, seats were plenty comfortable. No issues with seat comfort whatsoever there. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped, and I loved seeing that large Bronco logo front and center. That was pretty cool. And you can get a heated steering wheel actually if you were to opt for the Luxe package. That goes for $3,590 here on the Bronco. So includes a ton of different things, but one of them being a heated steering wheel. But so then making our way to the startup, let me first start by showing you guys the key here. It is typically like every other Ford key you would imagine. You do have lock, unlock, and actually a remote start as well, which comes standard on this one, by the way. So that was pretty cool. Also, a push button start will come standard. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button. And so next up here, when it comes to the gauges, I thought this is actually a pretty dang cool gauge cluster here. You got the speedometer found in analog form all the way to the left, but then you have an 8-inch digital portion of the gauges front and center. And this is completely customizable. I thought it was pretty cool. You can, of course, check out all of your different driving modes up there. So this is where you're able to see just how many driving modes this thing actually has. You do have some audio settings you can display up there. You can display navigation up there if you wanted to. There's trip A, trip B, outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. But the coolest part was it actually changed colors dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. So if you put it in eco, you're going to get a lot of green hues like you guys were looking at right there, but it does change color dependent upon the drive mode. So I did find that pretty cool. But then touching on overall interior quality, you will find Bronco lettering found just above the glove box. You will find a leather wrap shift boot coming standard. Dual cup holders, also your buttons for your power windows in the front can be found behind those cup holders. Again, with the doors being able to be taken off, you can't have them on the doors, of course. You will find some rubberized storage just in front of that shifter with a phone charging port and a USB charging port then as well. Another cool little added touch was the Dearborn, Michigan stamp just by the shifter. I thought that was pretty nice. You will find rubberized grab handles everywhere in this thing, especially on the passenger side, but also to actually get in the Bronco. So that was definitely helpful. Auxiliary switch is found on the ceiling of the Bronco. That's for any aftermarket lights or any aftermarket accessories that you were to add to the Bronco. Also, if you were to go with the Luxe package, you will get a wireless phone charger. In addition to that, a universal garage door opener then as well if you were looking for those. But overall interior quality was pretty much as I expected it to be with the Bronco. Very rugged and kind of really well prepared for the elements. I'll put it that way. So definitely plenty fine for me. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. And so when it comes to the infotainment, there's actually two different configurations that you can go with. There is the 8-inch color touchscreen display that comes standard. Then there is the 12-inch color touchscreen display that comes with the high package that goes for $1,295. Either way, you still get Sync 4 regardless of which screen size that you go with. You get Bluetooth and audio streaming, but here's the kicker for me. Wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Well done, Ford. So many vehicles are still not doing that right now, so super glad that they have that, so you don't have to actually risk plugging in your phone with a wire when it's raining outside and you didn't put the top up or something like that. Also, factory navigation system comes standard regardless of which setup that you go with. You can check out your radio information up there, and 6 speakers, by the way, is the standard sound system, but then there is a 10 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with the Lux package. So having said that, we do have the 6 speaker sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. I love a little bit of Millennium. That sound system, that song was awesome, but the sound system is definitely very nice as well. Plenty of bass, plenty of clarity. Should not have any issues with playing that with the top off of this thing whatsoever. So the last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Bronco in reverse, you will of course find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. In addition to that, if you were to go with the mid package, you will also get a 360-degree monitor, giving you that bird's eye view all around you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so front side carrying airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, automatic high beams. But then if you were to go with that Lux package, you will also, in addition to that, get adaptive cruise control and evasive steering assist then as well. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, this thing really is an absolute beast, especially with the Sasquatch package that we have here today. If you guys ever have seen one of these in person, you will realize just how incredibly massive the new Bronco truly is. So it's pretty cool. It does make for excellent off-roading as well. This thing is completely outfitted with the suspension, with the wheel and tire combination, with the locking differentials to go off-roading, and you would be completely fine. Great tech, actually, surprisingly, in this one as well. Not only the 8-inch gauge cluster, but also that massive 12-inch screen for the infotainment. Definitely surprised there. I thought that was pretty cool. Great acceleration, actually, as well, which kind of took me by surprise, again, considering the size of this thing. The only room for improvement I can really think of, because I really like this thing, was the braking, and that one really actually upset me. I wanted the braking to be better, and maybe it's because we have the Sasquatch package and the wheels and tire combination is so much larger than it would have otherwise been, but braking could be improved upon. And having said that, I think there will be some aftermarket options in the future for maybe larger rotors and calipers down the line, so I would probably definitely go that route because I wasn't a huge fan of the braking. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it actually gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.